Time for a water break.
Wow, man. Wow. Wow is all I can say. These past couple of days have been, I'm even gonna say the past couple of days. The past 20 to 24 hours have been some of the biggest in the sports landscape. The sports landscape. I mean, we've seen some of the most seismic shifting news to come out of college football and to come out of the NFL. First off, it was reported that Bill Belichick would be parting ways with the New England Patriots. I don't know. I think a lot of people saw that coming. Maybe a lot of people may have thought that he may have had another year to get it right in New England, but it happened. They've mutually parted ways in New England. I mean, Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, have parted ways. That came out. Then the biggest news. I don't know. I don't know if people were more like, I don't know if they were more like surprised, but I don't know. I think they were more shocked. Shocked, surprised, whatever you want to call it. Nick Saban retires. Arguably the greatest college football coach of all time retires from the University of Alabama. I mean, I personally thought it would be next year or the year after. I thought he had at least 1 or 2 more years left in him, but it kind of shocked me because I thought, like I just stated, I thought it would be another year before we saw this. My honest opinion, I thought this would be a year or two down the road, more 2 years down the road. But in all of that, this video is not about those two guys. We already know those guys are legendary. Those guys are legendary figures in coaching. But in all of that, we fail to realize it's almost like an afterthought. There's almost an afterthought because in Seattle, Pete Carroll is not the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks anymore. And Pete Carroll arguably could be considered one of the top coaches in coaching. And it's like the third biggest story. This is surprising, man. That shows you how big those first two mentions, those first two names that I mentioned are big, are because Pete Carroll in himself is a big figure as well. And I know I like to start. I know I like to say stuff that's controversial sometimes. People may not agree with it, but hey, I look at it from what I see it from how I see it. Pete Carroll could actually be considered probably the greatest coach of all time. He probably could be. Some people may see him as that. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying some people may see him that way. I mean, I just had to look at it, man. I was looking at it and I was like, man, Pete Carroll, man. Like, and I thought about it, and I was like, if the Pete Carroll story would have came out by itself, it would have been big news. It would have been headlining news. It would have been like, oh wow, this is amazing. What's going on? But then the other news came out, and it became a back burner. It literally became like the third biggest story in the sports landscape. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, Pete Carroll has a resume. Like, he has a resume that can compete. And he won on the collegiate and the NFL level. Something that Saban didn't do. Saban wasn't great in the NFL. He wasn't there for a long time either. You know what I'm saying? If the Dolphins would have got Drew Brees, maybe Saban never goes to Alabama. Who knows? I don't think we ever really saw Belichick for real in college. and things of that nature. I mean, I think we did. And things of that nature. I just want to make sure I'm saying that correctly before I go with that. Yeah, I mean, you looking at it and you're like, wow, like Pete Carroll's resume is really it's really good. Let me see. I just want to make sure. Bill Belichick began his coaching career after graduating from Wesleyan College, and he went straight to the NFL. From what I'm reading here. Interesting. Okay, got you. But back to what I was saying. Pete Carroll has a legit resume. Let's start from the 2000s, which is the part where most people know Pete Carroll from. Pete Carroll became the we're gonna start there and we're gonna go back. Pete Carroll became the head coach of the USC Trojans in 2001. He was there from 2001 to 2009. He won 7 consecutive Pac-10 titles from 2002 to 2008, 2 national championships, 2003 to 2004. And he reached a bowl game in each of his 9 seasons and won 7 bowl games. Never had a losing season at USC. The worst season he had was the first season he was there, he went 6-6. The last season he was there in 2009, he went 9-4. And then from 2002 to 2008, he won 11 plus games every year. He finished with a 97-19 record at USC. Then he went to the pros. He went to the NFL. He went to the Seahawks. Well, he was in the pros before he went to USC. And looking at that, he was at the Jets for 1 year in 94. He went 6-10. The New England Patriots in 97, he was 10-6. 98, he was 9-7. And in 99, he was 8-8. So he kind of digressed the game each year that he played for the Patriots between 97 and 99. But then you go to the Seahawks. The Seahawks in 2010, he excuse me, he won 5 NFC West titles, 10 playoff victories, 2 NFC championships. He has 8 seasons, 8 10-plus win seasons, and only 3 losing seasons in the 14 years he's been the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. 2010, he was 7-9. 2011, he was 7-9. In 2021, he went 7-10. And not to mention, he has brought Seattle its first and only Super Bowl 48. Could have been one in Super Bowl 49, but we all know the play call. I just want to throw this out there, man. I want to throw this out there. Why isn't Pete Carroll considered as the greatest coach of all time? He won on the collegiate level and he won in the NFL. Jimmy Johnson did the same thing. Barry Switzer did the same thing. Why aren't these type of guys be considered as the greatest coach of all time? I don't know. You tell me, man. You tell me how you feel about that. I'm just throwing it out there. You tell me your thoughts. Tell us in the chat. Tell us in the comment section, man. Make sure you rate this video, man. Make sure you share it. Make sure you subscribe, man. We appreciate you so much at the Water Cooler Talk podcast, man. And as always, we'll see you when we see you.